Good evening. I'm Laura Berger. Thank you. I'm Laura Berger, and Laura Davidson and I are the co-presidents of the Friends of Mount Lebanon Percussion. The Friends of Mount Lebanon Percussion is the parent support group for this organization. We provide 80% of the funding for the program, from ticket sales, the ads that you see in your program, and honor roll donations from people like you. The school district provides the other 20%. We really, really appreciate you supporting this outstanding program by coming tonight. This concert is sold out, so if you don't mind, if there's any empty seats, if y'all could scooch and make room for people that might be arriving late, that would be terrific. The concert tonight will have a brief intermission. The restrooms are on the lower level, down the elevator or down the stairs, behind the elevators in the hallway there. During intermission, we hope you have a couple of minutes to stop by the concessions and buy candy or water. We also have a table where we're selling Mount Lebanon Percussion apparel, hats and t-shirts and things like that. We also have some raffles tonight. We are raffling off a basket from the Learning Express toy store. It's an assortment of toys and some gift cards for that store here in the Galleria. We also have a raffle for assorted gift cards that is totaling $500. If you're interested in one of the custom Cirque du Soleil drum heads, bass drum heads from this year's marching band percussion feature, you can purchase one for $100, or you can try your luck at the raffle. We're raffling 2 off tonight. We will draw those 2 names towards the end of the program. With the raffle money that we raise from that, we're hoping to raise enough to purchase custom drum heads for this coming year's percussion feature, which is the Incredibles. The drum heads are incredible, and they make a great gift for any marching band person, not just a percussionist or a graduate. So we appreciate your support there. After the concert, as you descend the stairs, you'll see the kids collecting in the drums cash donations. These support the Need-Based Scholarship Fund. All the kids you see tonight take private lessons. Mount Lebanon Percussion, Friends of Mount Lebanon Percussion has maintained a Need-Based Scholarship Fund, and we assist families that might have a financial hardship with affording those lessons. We appreciate your generosity with helping with that. A small percentage of your donations goes towards our donation for the local Salvation Army. Thank you for coming again, and enjoy the show.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2018 Holiday Evening of Percussion Concert Series. Our performance will begin in just a few moments. As a courtesy to all performers, please turn off all alarms, alerts, and rings for your electronic devices. Flash photography, videography, and audio recording are strictly prohibited. For your information, motion lighting, strobe lights, smoke, and other effects will be used during the production. If you should need to use the restroom, they are located in the lower lobby. In the event of an emergency, exits can be found at the bottom of each aisle and in the rear of the auditorium. Thank you for your attention and your support of arts in our schools, and please enjoy the show.
Adjust! Ready, front! Good evening, and welcome to the Fine Arts Theater at Lebanon High School. We welcome all the people in the hall here and also all the people who are watching around the world on our live stream. I'm Rick Minotti, and on behalf of all of our students, staff, and parents, it is my pleasure to welcome all of you to the 34th Annual Evening of Percussion Concert Series. Tonight's actually the 6th performance in this series. We started Thursday night. Friday we had 2 daytime programs for the students at the high school. Last night we were here. This afternoon we had our noisy concert, the children's matinee. At 1 o'clock they take their M&Ms and roll them down the aisle. And it's a lot of fun. Get them all sugared up and send them home at 11. We're glad you joined us this evening. It is a beautiful night out. Hopefully the air is going to work tonight well for us and we'll keep you comfortable. Taking the stage right now is our freshman ensemble. Please welcome them and their director, Mr. Jason Miller.
Good evening. I'd like to just briefly, as I always try and do, every year it seems the freshman ensemble is not entirely made up of freshmen. They're freshmen to us, but I'm sure they would be upset if some of my sophomores felt that you thought that they were freshmen. So, Abby Delavade and Anastasia Radzilowicz. I also would like to acknowledge my TA, my de facto TA, Dylan, who's been with me all these 4 years. And also filling in on a small but very crucial Wiro part, Audrey Massesso. Thank you. Hello. I would like to point out that I actually screwed up the next to last measure of that, and they went right on through as if I had done nothing wrong. So thanks for making me look good, guys. Yeah, you can give it up. That's okay. They deserve it. Our next piece, High Life. High Life is a idiom of music from Africa. It originated in the 1920s in Ghana. In the 1920s, there was a heavy Western influence coming into Africa, expatriates from Europe, the Americas, and they brought their music with them. Now, many of these people were wealthy, and they would go out in the evenings into ballrooms and exclusive clubs and things of that nature. So the local musicians started to hear this music, and they drew on those influences. So the melodies and the thematic material had sort of a pop feel to it, much as like the rise of ragtime and jazz in America. This music came to be called High Life because it was for the aristocracy. The people who were playing it and the people who most enjoyed it could not afford to go into those clubs. So this was music for people who were living the high life. So I see we are ready. So this is Phil Paini's High Life.
We're very proud of the freshmen because it's a tremendous transition from 8th grade to 9th grade. If you've been to a middle school concert at Mellon or Jefferson, and we have a lot of percussion players down in those grades, all along the back wall of the concert, you said like 22 snare drummers back there. And you know, if one of them doesn't know their music, it doesn't really matter. You just kind of fake play and everybody else will cover your part for you. Then you come to high school. And here's your music for this song. Oh, who's playing with me? Nobody. What? I mean I gotta go play that and know it and not make mistakes? Well, yeah, that's the general idea. It's a big transition. The very first chance to play is when we do our Holiday Bells, Mallets, and Drums concert. And the very first time they play, you can just like that deer in the headlights look. But then by the end of that concert series, you can see a change. And by now, consolidated tonight, great bunch of people. Taking the stage now is our concert ensemble. Please welcome them and their director, Mr. Daniel Meola.
Good evening. How's everybody doing? Wow, no response. Thank you. Appreciate it. How's everybody doing? All right. Can't wake up for a percussion concert. Come on. All right. Well, this next group is already ready to go, so I'm not going to waste any more time. This is an awesome, awesome piece. It's the only piece on the concert that is going to be without any drums and non-pitch percussion. It's all melodic instruments, and it's a little bit of a different vibe as a result. This is Matthew Curley's Syzygy. right. Well, this next piece on our program tonight by Jim Casella is actually not our first performance of a piece by him tonight. Earlier, the Drumline played a whole set of different cadences, and one of them was composed by Jim Casella. This next piece is quite different, though. This is a piece for large percussion ensemble. You're going to hear a lot of different things going on in this next piece. It's maybe the newest or most contemporary piece on our program tonight. It was written and premiered a little over a year ago. It's really in reaction to some of the social and media and political events going on in our country over the last couple of years. And I have a quote from the composer. As I write this, it is a time where facts are selective and manipulated in ways to calibrate media coverage for political gain. As a result, the concept of truth has been endangered to the point where personal opinion can be passed off as fact, however false it may be. This frightens me, and I fear the consequences the world will face as a result. So this piece is really a reaction, and often an angry reaction or a fearful reaction to some of these events, as you're going to hear. This very cinematic composition kind of starts light and really ends in a very powerful way. I think you'll enjoy this when they're ready. This is Truth or Consequence.
Whoa, hi there. How are you? We'll take that off the tape. Hey, if you just joined us on our live stream, we welcome you to Mount Lebanon, suburb of Pittsburgh. You're in Fine Arts Theater at Lebanon High School. We're really glad you're watching. For all the schools that have had their watch parties tonight to watch us, we're really especially glad you're watching. We hope you enjoy. Can we have the lights up just a little bit, Mr. Stockloza? How many folks here tonight are attending their very first percussion ensemble concert? Okay, a few hands. Great, great. It's always interesting if you're a parent of a student and you want to go to like your next door neighbor and say, hey, why don't you come to a percussion ensemble concert? And they're immediately thinking, bang, 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 crash, boom, crash. No, we have a party, we have that. I don't know if we're going to do that. But then once you come, you get a chance to see that it's much different. The percussion program in Mount Lebanon, we are very, very fortunate to have beautiful instruments, lots of instructors. We currently have 200 percussion students in grades 4 through 12. It's a lot of kids, obviously. All of the high school kids, every single high school student takes an hour private lesson a week. For those families that need a little extra assistance, we have a scholarship program for that. In fact, at the end of the concert tonight, as you're leaving, you'll see some students holding drums. The whole point of that is to collect money just for our scholarship program. A lot of folks say that this is probably one of the largest percussion programs in the nation. A lot of the college folks say it's actually a college program within a public school. And we are very, very blessed for that. Coming out next is our Brazilian ensemble. We hope you enjoy.
Gloria!
hopefully before the concert, or if you haven't done it yet, maybe during intermission, we hope you thumb through the beautiful playbill that Mrs. Susan Hagen designs for us and produces every year. Her son graduated at least 10 years ago, maybe a few more than that. She volunteered to be the person in charge of this. What she didn't do was look at the fine print on the contract, which said you got to do it like for 20 years. So, but she's very generous to us and keeps doing us. When you look through it, you'll see ads from a lot of Mount Lebanon businesses, also some from the South Hills area, some from Pittsburgh, and even some from around the western Pennsylvania area. The greatest thing you could do for us to help us is if you frequent that business, the next time you go into it, tell the owner, hey, I saw your ad in the program Playbill for Mount Lebanon Percussion. Thank you for sponsoring music in our schools. Thank you for sponsoring Mount Lebanon Percussion. That helps us so much. Speaking of sponsors, we are very lucky to have national sponsors and local sponsors. Our national sponsors, Malatech, and none of them on the stage right now, over in the corner there. The beautiful marimbas we have are handmade over in Asbury Park, New Jersey, by a company called Malatech. We've been with them since 2006. Meinl makes all the Brazilian drums and the African drums you just got done hearing. Remo makes all of our drum heads, and Vic Firth makes of all of our sticks and also all the mallets you see being played. Our local sponsors, we have Fort Pitt Capital Group, the Galleria of Mount Lebanon, Learning Express, Michael Baker International, Rollier's Hardware, and our very first sponsor we ever had, still with us, Vocal Lines Music.
That was fun. Welcome back. This next piece, Rhapsody in Blue, is a it's one of our favorites here. Back in 1996, we had this commissioned for our own group. The original arrangement is by Phil Faini at WVU in the late 70s. He's kind of the father of the percussion ensemble style that we have, where we throw a concert with everything, not just one type of music over and over. We kind of try and throw everything at you and keep it fresh. And he kind of came up with that down at WVU. So he took this arrangement of Rhapsody in Blue, which most of you will know from the United Airlines commercials, which is sad because it's an American classic. But he took this version from the 70s from a Brazilian bass guitar player who took an already jazzy, wonderful piece and made it very funky because of the 70s, and he was a bass player, so what else do you do with it? So he took that, wrote it for a percussion ensemble, and used the original piano solo because Rhapsody in Blue is, at its heart, a piano solo first. So then we took it in the 90s with a former director, Mr. Kurt McNaught. We had a foreign exchange student from Japan who was just a phenomenal piano player. And she came and she just blew everyone out of the water. And then we actually brought her back. She went back to Japan. We brought her back for the 15th anniversary concert. So again, this is the 34th, sorry. And she played it phenomenally again except now she was a famous pianist in Japan because she was that amazing. So we brought her back for that, and then we haven't played it since because we just didn't have a piano player. But at that 15th anniversary concert, I was sitting over there in 5th grade watching, waiting. So it's been on my desk for a while, and every year I'm like, but this year, our resident pit piano player who you saw play Take On Me back there, I went, hey, Matthew Syzygy, do you want to try this? And I plopped the big score on his desk, and he was like, no, I'll play around with it, and went home, and then came back. He was like, yes, 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 yes. So I put it in his hands. I rearranged it for our much different needs now. We have a lot more things and a lot more kids, and we do a lot more different things. So I kind of tweaked the arrangement, and they're just killing it. So I hope you enjoy Mr. Matthew Syzygy and Rhapsody in Blue.
while they're finishing their setup for this piece, there's so many people behind the scenes that make this concert happen. Dr. Tim Steinhauer, our superintendent of schools, is a tremendous supporter of arts in our schools, but he's a tremendous, tremendous supporter of our program. He does everything he can to help us. Dr. Ron Davis, our assistant superintendent, the same, and Mr. Brian McFeely, our high school principal. Big round of applause for all three of those gentlemen. Up in the booth, Mr. Dave Stocklows and his crew do all the lighting effects for us. Up in the booth, our television producer director, Mr. Dave Alcorn. Our our audio director, Mr. Thomas Regan. The beautiful, handsome tuxedos that our guys wear, men in stitches. Big round of applause for men. In my 44 years of teaching here, I've worked with a lot of school boards, and they've all been tremendous. But the current one is very supportive. We thank them for their help, our school board. And last but not least, our own board of directors for Friends of Mount Lebanon Percussion. You've already met one president this evening, Mrs. Berger. Mrs. Davidson's the other one, and then a whole list of folks in here. They do all the work behind the scenes to guide the parents, raise money, and all those kind of things. This would not happen without them. The board of directors of FMLP. We're good. Ladies and gentlemen, our keyboard ensemble. Another round of applause for them. Thank you very much. This is also the group that represents us at smaller occasions during the year, like at the KDK TV, Children's Hospital Telethon. They perform that, and they also perform at Heinz Hall. They do a lot of extra work for us. Thank you. Our next selection, Firefly, is a relatively new piece. It was composed back in 2015, commissioned by the Texas Christian University, TCU's Percussion Ensemble. That was in honor of their appearance at the 2015 Percussive Arts Society Convention in Indianapolis. The work centers around the belief that the two different species of fireflies in Japan are actually the ghosts of warriors that passed away and died in the terrible battles they had in the 12th century between different clans. So they believe that on the 20th day of the 4th month every year, the fireflies recreate the battle. And any caged fireflies should be let out to participate. At the beginning of the song, you'll kind of hear the music of one kind of group of fireflies and another group, and then I promise you won't miss the battle. Actually, the hardest part of this concert is not playing the music. It's doing all of this. We have a rehearsal on Monday night, a tech rehearsal, where all we do is play, moving the instruments here, moving them there, charting them out. Every student has different assignments, whether to bring something out, move it someplace else, take it back. At the end of the concert this evening, we will have a cookie and punch reception out in the lower lobby. We hope a lot of you will stop by and shake the hands of all the students, but especially our seniors. They're only about 10, 15 minutes away from finishing their career with us. Each student puts in 650 hours a year doing this. So you imagine how many they put in. So please, if you have a chance, stop by, have a cookie, have some punch, and say thanks to our kids. This next piece, Wicked, we did it 3 or 4 years ago, but we've had it rewritten, added a couple surprises for you. We hope you enjoy it. It's called A Wicked Medley.
Thank with playing by the rules of someone else's game. Too late for second guessing. Too late to go back to sleep. It's time to trust my instincts. Close my eyes and leave. So if you care to fly me up to the western sky, as someone told me, everyone deserves a chance to fly. And if I'm flying solo, at least I'm flying free. To those around me, a message and nobody in all of Oz, no wizard that there is or was, is ever gonna bring me
Elise Reichenfeld, Alphabet 1. Elena Azaro, Alphabet 2. Elizabeth Farton, Kalinda.
Okay, at this time we'd like to do the drawings for all the raffles tonight, and I was wondering if there is a young person who might want to pick the tickets for me. Let's see. Is there an Abigail up there? Come on down. Can't see very well. draw out 2 different tickets for the bass drum heads, the Cirque du Soleil drum heads. The first one is Cowell, C-O-W-H-E-L, I think. All right, there's a phone number, so we'll call you. And you pick one different one. This is Bartone. Okay, well, we'll be in touch with you early this summer when we take the drum heads off. And now we have, okay, this will be for the Learning Express gift basket. Tom Schetter. All right. None of them. Oh, great. Okay, perfect. After the concert, you can come to the table and pick it up. And this is for the gift card basket. Okay. Norm DeLuca. Mr. DeLuca's dad. Perfect. You can just come see us after the concert.
This is the hard part of the evening. We have to say goodbye to 17 tremendous young men and women. They've been with us for 4 years. They put in 650 hours per year, 4 times. Amazing people, amazing musicians, and we really love them so much. They'll be back. They come back, which is good. And we hope they don't wait too long to do that. Tonight we're going to introduce each person, tell you just a little bit about each one. Our very first person, I won't call your name, you guys come up and actually you're on the podium. And you got to conduct the song too. All right, no, maybe not. Nicole Aspiotis. We asked the kids different questions and we'll read some of their answers. Her favorite percussion memory. Her favorite memory was the trip to the National Percussion Festival her junior year. While it was more of a work trip, which it was, we had the freedom to walk around and pretty much do whatever we wanted within reason. And it was a lot of fun having everyone in percussion together. One thing this next, before I even mention it, a lot of middle school parents will go, I'm not sure I want my kid to be in a group because all they do is practice and practice and practice. When are they going to do their homework? Pay attention. Awards and honors, National Honor Society, highest honor roll and high honor roll. Plans for the fall, Duquesne University in business. The individual who had the biggest impact on her high school experience, Mr. DeLuca, for teaching me so much about life, even more than just percussion, and helping shape me into who I am today. I will never forget our long talks, inside jokes, and many great memories we've made over the past 8 years. Please help us to thank and say goodbye to Ms. Nicole Aspiotis. Please welcome Mr. Will Berger. This year, Will is our principal percussionist, which is a big, big deal by itself. His favorite percussion memory, snare line Iron Chef. Not sure I quite know what that means, but that's right. Keyboard dinners after Heinz Hall with the Children's Hospital Show, and playing xylophone with Matt Murray at Children's Hospital. Other activities, if you went to see Annie, you saw him. He's been in a musical 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. He's also into politics. He was student council co-treasurer during 9th grade and co-president 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. If you go to commencement coming up, Mr. Berger gets to give the commencement speech. National Merit Finalist, Cum Laude Society, National Honor Society, Daughters of the American Revolution Good Citizen Award, Bishop's Medal of Honor. His plans for the fall, Brown University, Computer Science and Biochemistry. The persons who had the most impact on his life, both of his sisters. His older sister Emma for being my constant role model and teach me everything I need to know in life. And my younger sister Rebecca for always being willing to lend a hand or make me laugh. Please help us to thank and say goodbye to Mr. Will Berger. Welcome to the stage, Mr. Alex Dornbach. That's right. You gotta be careful, I'll do it. His favorite percussion memory, marching in Walt Disney World this past April, and the back-to-back Stanley Cup parades, which the marching band did. Music-related activities, he was in the musical playing drum set, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grades. Other activities, been in the ski club all 4 years, Model UN in 12th grade, Music Technology Club in 12th, Cum Laude Society, National Honor Society, High Honor Roll, going to Case Western Reserve University, majoring in biomedical engineering. The individuals who had the biggest impact on him, his parents, for enabling him to be whomever and whatever he wants to be in life. Please help us thank and say goodbye to Mr. Alex Dornbach. Mr. CJ Duffy, come on down. His favorite percussion memory, similar to somebody else's, walking around at the National Percussion Festival and rooming next to Mr. DeLuca and Mr. Meunier. They're troublemakers on trip. I think actually CJ was their chaperone. Just saying. National Honor Society, High Honor Roll, Bishop's Medal recipient. Plans for the fall, Penn State University, go blue. Business, individual who had the biggest impact, Mr. DeLuca, for convincing him to stick with percussion and helping him improve every week. Please help us thank and say goodbye to Mr. CJ Duffy. There we go. Coming down next, Mr. Cole Engel. Favorite percussion memory? And this is kind of a cool story. Played I Lived with his brother and sister on recital night. His sister, I think you met maybe earlier a little bit there, Sophia. And your other brother is? Connor. I forgot. Yeah, he was 8th grade, right? Yeah. For how many years did you guys do this?
I think it was like 6.
6 years. They played at our recital concert, which is a much smaller concert. And they did a family trio. And it was really, really good. We all enjoyed it. Other activities, he's a busy guy. Soccer team, Latin club, intramural basketball, Relay for Life. Student Curriculum Advisory Council, St. Paul's Mission Trip, Link Crew, and Politics and Pizza. Pizza, politics. I should read these before I, read them. Plans for the fall, Ohio State University. Accounting? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we got one over here. Accounting and business analytics. The individual who had the biggest impact on him. My mom and dad. His mom and dad, actually. It'd be interesting if my money never... Yeah. You get that, right? Okay. For always supporting him in everything he does and inspiring him to pursue his passions in life. Also, Mr. Shubadas, for always expecting the best out of him and pushing him to be the best percussion player and person that he is today. Please help us thank and say goodbye to Mr. Paul Engel. Mr. Luvanian, come on down. His favorite memory, and it's kind of a trend here, attending the National Percussion Festival in Indianapolis, watching and listening to other percussionists from around the country perform their own music was a truly enriching experience and helped him to appreciate the percussion program we have here at Mount Lebanon High School even more. His favorite piece to perform was the one we did this evening, Firefly. Awards and honors, AATG National German Exam Gold Medal Award. They put that on one plaque. You get 2 plaques for that. Yeah, you get 2 plaques for that. The ACT Certificate of Merit for Outstanding Performance, High Honor Roll. Plans for the fall, the University of Pittsburgh, Neuroscience, Pre-Med. The individual who had the biggest impact, Mr. Mignet, for patiently waiting with me throughout the years and helping me improve his playing skills to further develop his musical talents. Some guy named Minotti for being a model of passion, attitude, and ethics, I don't know, and a great mentor to all of us. His parents for transferring their love of music to him at a young age and supporting him in all of his endeavors, music-related and otherwise. Help us to thank and say goodbye to Mr. Lou Fain. Mr. Josiah Handelman. Yeah. His favorite memory, dancing in the bleachers during football games with the pit to the stand jams. Yep. Other activities, he's a busy guy also. Chamber choir, men's ensemble, concert choir, in the cabaret. Music composition for evening theater. He wrote the music for Robin Hood? Yeah, exactly. That they did here. I got lost here. 2018 high school music Annie piano player, Center for Theater Arts voice class, and the Mount Lebanon Extended Day program. Is that because your parents wouldn't let you come home, or you had to go there after school, or?
I mean, they didn't want me over the summer.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Yeah. Plans for the fall, I'm sorry, awards and honors. High honor roll, honor roll. Plans for the fall, Carnegie Mellon University School, oh, it gets better, it gets better. School of Music, Composition, and Music Technology. The individual who had the biggest impact, Mr. DeLuca, for pushing him forward, giving him support throughout his musical journey, and fueling the unrelenting passion he does have for music today. And also Will King. Will graduated 3 years ago?
3 years ago.
3 years ago, right. Will also plays with the Blue Star Drum and Bugle Corps now, for being one of the coolest guys he knows, teaching him not to be afraid to smile when performing music, and being an inspiration and role model to him throughout his years in percussion. Please help us to thank and say goodbye to Mr. Josiah Handelman. Mr. Alex Hill. Rooming with his friends at the hotel at the National Percussion Festival was his favorite memory. I think the police remember that one too. No. Other activities, he's a sports person. Winter track, Spring track, National Honor Society, High Honor, Honor Roll. Attending the University of Maryland at College Park, International Business and Physics. Individual who had the biggest experience, his mother, who was always supportive and involved in whatever activities he did, whether it was percussion, track, or anything else. She was there cheering me on and helping out whenever she could. Please help me thank and say goodbye to Mr. Alex Hill. Mr. Parker Hollist. His favorite memory. You can guess it, right? Okay. The trip to Indianapolis to participate in the National Percussion Festival, listen to the other talented music groups perform, and spending time with his friends was amazing. Awards and honors. High Honor Roll. Honor Roll. Eagle Scout. Plans for the fall. It's a special. Yeah, it's a special. Plans for the fall. Utah State University in Civil Engineering. Mr. DeLuca was his biggest impact, who taught him the joy of playing music and taking breaks during lessons to talk. There we go, okay. About Star Wars. Talk about Star Wars. Not about music, not about chord progressions. Yeah. Also, you guys didn't have like lightsaber battles or anything.
No,
did
I
you?
only have one.
Oh. You don't know. You don't know. Also, his parents for always encouraging him, and his grandparents who never missed a concert despite the long road trips, and especially his grandmother who passed away earlier this year. Please help us to thank and say goodbye to Mr. Parker Hall. Ms. Sarah Lutz. Favorite percussion memory? Hey, this one's different. Percussion experience was the marching band trip to Walt Disney World this past spring. Other activities, piano for 4 years, volunteer at St. Clair Hospital, 11th and 12th grade. Awards and honors, cum laude, National Honor Society, highest honor roll, high honor roll, academic scholarships to Ohio State University. Go ahead. Whoever that is there. All right, yeah. And accepted to the Ohio State Scholars Program for Biological Sciences. Yeah. And she plans to, in the fall, go into Ohio State University for, yeah, this is one of those easy subjects, molecular genetics. Yeah, okay. Shuba Das, the individual who had the most impact on her. Shuba's out gigging tonight, so he's not with us. For taking her on as a student without any percussion experience when she first moved here in her freshman year. And for not only encouraging her to strive for excellence, but for also pushing her to go outside of her comfort zone. Taking lessons from him has helped me discover the value of hard work and dedication. Please help us to thank and say goodbye to Ms. Sarah Lutz. Mr. Dylan Marfisi. Oh my. Oh, this is a good one. Favorite percussion memory. You don't hear this one very often. I never thought I would say this, but band camp in his senior year. Music-related activities, he was our drum captain this year. Awards and honors, Cum Laude Society, National Honor Society, High Honor Roll. Another one? Ohio State University. Mathematics education. Cool. Biggest impact, Mr. Mignet. He's watched me grow from a small, shy kid to where I am now, while helping me define my passion in percussion and reach his goals. Please help us to thank and say goodbye to Mr. Dylan Marfisi. Mr. Nicholas Mustian. Favorite percussion memory, National Percussion Festival. It was a great experience to play on a national level and see all the other high school ensembles. And he's very, very correct about that. Pennsylvania Junior Academy of Science Fair, 7th through 12th grades, first place awards each year. National Merit Finalist, Cum Laude Society, National Honor Society. He'll be going to Duquesne University, Biomedical Engineering. His big impact person, Mr. DeLuca, has been his percussion mentor since Gold Ensemble. Wish we had a video of that.
Oh, we do.
Oh, we do?
It's not
But
on
we
the
want to
roll, though.
see
It's not on the
it.
roll, don't worry.
Yeah. And he's continued to, now we did that, right? Yeah. Gold Ensemble has continued to support him throughout his time in the program. Coach DJ was his crew coach 2 years ago as a novice. Even then, he's continued to push him towards the best rower that he can be. He was tremendously involved in rowing and crew and gave us as much time as he possibly can, which we've always been very, very thankful for. Please help us to thank and say goodbye to Nicholas Constantine Mustian. Mr. Brandon Oberly. Favorite memory, all of the awesome trips and workshops that we had. It really makes you appreciate this program and all the instructors that have given us these opportunities. Music related, he was in concert band. He was the co-section leader in cymbals in his 11th grade year and the section leader in his 12th grade. Awards and honors, honor roll, Parkway Directors List, Adobe Photoshop Associate. Going to there we go, tired. Point Park University Information Technology. The individuals who had the biggest impact, his mother and sister Taylor, for being awesome people. Shubadas for his endless patience and helping him find his passion in music. And also all the cool people I met and got the chance to play music with. Help us to thank and say goodbye to Mr. Brandon Oberly. Mr. Nicholas Rowland. His most memorable experiences were the front ensemble's pit shindigs before football games in the fall. All the pitlets, we won't go there, all the pitlets gather at one house, eat dinner before a home game, and have a relaxing time playing video games. Marching band, he was in the percussion front ensemble, summer enrichment, teaching assistant, and then really, really cool thing this last fall, and I guess actually winter, I guess. He was in the Nomad Indoor Percussion Group. That's a group based in Pittsburgh that competes on a national level. They made finals this year, which is a really big deal. It's only the second year, which is, to make the finals in your second year is like almost unheard of. And they came in 11th place, which is just tremendous. High honor roll, University of Dayton in mechanical engineering. The individual who had the biggest impact, Mr. Stockloza, shared valuable life lessons during our booth chats while writing light cues. My last year at Lebo was both my best and my most educational because of him. Leaving the high school will be especially hard because of the memories I made with him during dance day times, the holiday show. Mr. Scalzo?
Yes.
Helped him discover the path that I want to take in college, while also aspiring him to be the best person he could be, possibly one day change the world. He's done so many things behind the scenes that none of you even know about. He does tech theater, he moves this, he moves that. Whenever we need someone, hey Nick, and Nick's like already there. It's a little scary. But But please help us to thank and say goodbye to Mr. Nicholas Rollman. Mr. Alan Scheuer. Favorite percussion memory? I'm going to say the after party that happens every year. Good, I like that one. Other activities? Card game club, which we just play card games. Is that the deal? Oh, well, there we go. Okay, I like that. I like that. National Honor Society. Highest honor roll, high honor roll, and honor roll. Individual who had the biggest impact, Mr. Miller, Mr. Jason Miller, who conducted earlier this evening. For all of what he taught me about percussion and other subjects. And Mr. Hathey, am I pronouncing that correctly? Mr. Hathey for just being a great teacher. Please help us to thank and say goodbye to Mr. Alan Scheuer. One thing I didn't mention, he's going to major in political policy. Political, right? Yeah. Political science. And he's going to planning on running for office in 2024. So, yeah, keep out for those signs, right? Okay. Mr. Matt Schrage. Matt has been a little different kind of a person coming into our program because he wasn't in the program at all during elementary and middle school. We added a synthesizer player to our percussion front-end marching band, and Mr. DeLuca put out a call on the morning announcements, I think. And Matt came down and said, "Hi, I would like to do that." He had no idea what he was getting himself into, but he did great, and it's been just a pleasure to have him. His most favorite experience, memorable experience, was playing Steve for the first time at band camp. Steve, do you want to explain what Steve was?
We got the box with the synthesizer in it, and we were like, I was like, we need a name for it. And then Nick Rollin went, Steve! And I went, okay. And so the synthesizer is named Steve, and the generator that powers it is called Jenny. And they're a little couple, Steve and Jenny. You shouldn't have asked. You shouldn't have asked.
Tonight you heard a very, very special side of him as he was the soloist in Rhapsody in Blue. If you want to catch him play more, he's the live. Is there a dead pianist? You're a live pianist. Okay. He's a live pianist at Riley's Poorhouse on Saturday mornings. Right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Awards and honors, National Merit Scholarship, Commended Student, Cum Laude Society, National Honor Society, Highest Honor, High Honor Roll. Plans for the fall, Virginia Tech, Architecture. Biggest impact, Mr. DeLuca, because he has led me in much of my development as a pianist, mainly in understanding the rhythmic and stylistic components of music. His lighthearted spirit makes playing music enjoyable. I have never laughed more in my 3 years in percussion than I do at his rehearsals. Please help us thank and say goodbye to Mr. Matt Schrage. And last but certainly not least, Mr. Dylan Tackett. Favorite percussion memory? Wow. Band camp in his senior year. You realize band camp is like 7:30 in the morning till 4. It's 95 degrees. You're out in the dirt. That's all right. We like it. Yeah, exactly. His favorite piece he performed was last year or 2 years ago. Aboriginal Dreams. Last year, that's right. Okay. Awards and honors, the honor roll. Going to Slippery Rock University for music performance. Individuals who had the biggest impact, This is really cool. Ginny Bennett, who was a student who graduated 2 years ago. I think that's right. And Mr. Miller, Jason Miller. He taught him everything he knows about percussion, and Ginny taught him pretty much everything else. So please help us to thank and say goodbye to Mr. Dylan Beckett. Our 2018 17-member senior class. Before you guys leave the stage, Mr. Mignet and Mr. Luca, come back out a second. Don't be shy. I don't bite. Come on up. There we go. Two of our instructors are out playing this evening. Mr. Miller's out at the casino. Playing Meadows, yeah, playing drum set, and where's Shuba playing?
Nola.
Nola. So they can't be here this evening. Mr. Mignet, you saw him before. He conducted the concert ensemble. He also instructs the African ensemble. And he did a lot of work at West Virginia University with Phil there then? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he worked with Phil Feiney, who was very, very much into the African playing. Mr. Jeremy DeLuca. Jeremy graduated from our program. We're very, very proud of him. Went to IUP, came back. He runs all of our enrichment ensembles, Blue Ensemble, Gold Ensemble, 8th grade ensemble, which is critical because that's the kids when they're starting. You get them excited and get them going then. And what he's done in recent years, he keeps boosting up the level of songs that they play, which then makes 9th grade a little more, which makes the concert ensemble a little more, and before you know it, it's really great. Both gentlemen are just tremendous musicians. Round of applause for them. We beat 10 o'clock. Hey, pretty good. Thank you so much. We thanked all the technical people. We thanked the school board. We thanked our own board. One person I haven't had a chance to thank yet, my wife, Linda. She does so much work for FMLP. She does embroidery. She takes pictures. She lets me come out and play and conduct. It's all those kind of good things. A lot of congratulations and thank you, Linda. Please stop by the cookie and punch thing and just find some of these fine folks and shake their hand and just tell them, wow, because it really, truly is wow. It really is. And finally, thank all of you for taking part of your holiday weekend to join us. It wouldn't be any fun if you weren't here, I guarantee it. Our last song has been our traditional closing song where everybody plays. It's an all skate. We kind of all play together, and it's Sabre Dance. For the folks who've been watching on our live stream, thank you so much for coming in. For the high schools that have been watching from their percussion studios, we hope you enjoyed the program. We hope you guys can do live stream so we can watch you guys too. Thank you so much for being here. Please enjoy Sabre Dance.
Cookies, punch, shake hands.